Hi guys, this is going to be a short video to show you how you can draw your phone holder, device holder, whatever holder you're making, on OnShape just in 2D. So we need to use this 2D drawing to eventually put it into Illustrator, so then we can send it to the laser cutter for it to cut out the outline shape, also to engrave where you're going to bend it, and then eventually in Illustrator you can also add logos, things to engrave on it, etc., etc. So, for example, these are some just outlines of different. These are all phone holders that people have done in the past, and just to show you an idea of kind of what we're going with. So it's just a sketch. We're not going to extrude anything. You can also remember you can put in an image into OnShape and have that in the background so you can trace around the image if that's something that you are going to need. If not, most of the flat 2D drawings could be done with rectangles, lines, circles, splines, etc., etc. So first things first, you guys must have a paper model done. So make sure that your paper model has everything cut out of it that you need to cut out. You've bent it into shape so you know where all the bend lines are. And if there's anything that's going to be engraved on it, maybe just make a mark or a note somewhere so you know to leave enough space for the engraving. But other than that, the measurements are really important. So measure the piece of paper so you know what measurements everything needs to be. So then we can use these measurements in OnShape. So I'm going to draw up my one and just to use that as a bit of an idea, but obviously everyone's is going to be slightly different, but the general gist is make sure that it is to scale and that you're using like the dimension button on OnShape. So first things first, top plane is what we want to sketch on. So I'm going to click top plane, go to sketch, and then as a suggestion, I would get everyone to draw a center point rectangle, but make it a construction line. So turn on construction, turn on a center point rectangle, and then draw a rectangle from the center. And then make this 295 by 105. Enter, enter. And that is going to be like the maximum amount of acrylic that you guys can use. So whatever you draw needs to be within that rectangle. So I'm going to click the green tick and then just leave that in the background. So what I need to do now is create another sketch. So also on the top plane, go to sketch. And I'm going to actually move this little window just to the side, and I'm not going to click that green tick until I've drawn every single line that I want. And essentially your whole outline and any lines that need to be cut out or engraved, we need to sketch all of them first, and then when you're finished, then you can click on the green tick to finish it. Okay, but in the meantime, I'm not going to click that until I've done literally everything, and then I'll green tick it. So for starters, I probably want to put in some like dividing lines where I know all of my where all of my lines are to be able to bend. So for example, mine, I need to have 1, 2, 3 lines that I know are where I'm going to bend my piece of acrylic, and I know what measurements they need to be from each other. So I've got like 105, 25, 55 across the top here. So basically I can draw some lines and I can use the dimension button, so this one, to then set that a certain distance. So from here I can click and click from there and then set that to be what I need that to be. So like I said, everyone's is going to be different. This is just for my one. So that's 105. And then I know that from that line, I need another one, which is going to be 25. And then one more, which for me is 55. and then whatever's left over is whatever's left over. So that's a good place to start if you know all the lines that need to be bent. If you need to work out anything else, using construction lines is really handy. So lines, construction lines, I don't know, let's say that you're gonna cut in a little bit, like, I don't know, 20 mil or something. If you draw a construction line and then set that to be the measurement that you want, you're basically creating like a grid to kind of work with. Okay, so construction lines and using the dimension button to go from like two separate places, really handy. Okay, other than that, using lines, using the spline tool, circles, rectangles, whatever the shape is that you are trying to draw, use all those tools to be able to do that. So I'm going to do this really quickly now. So that's more or less what my design would look like. So I've just added in like a charging point. So eventually that's going to get cut out of the acrylic. So is this little triangle, that's going to be cut out. And obviously the outline is going to be cut out, and then I'm just going to engrave these two lines eventually. So that all gets done in Illustrator. So if there was anything else that I needed to add to this, I could. And then if it is done, when you are done, you can click on the green tick and that'll just okay that sketch. So then eventually sketch 2, just sketch 2, would be the thing that we need to export as a DXF to put that into Illustrator. And as normal, if there's anything specific that you're trying to do, which you can't work out, then please just come and ask me.